To what extent have you gone in a truth or dare game? Not me, but I know a man that won a stealing dare, with the goal to steal the biggest thing possible. One guy stole a fridge full of ice cream and the guy that won stole a forklift and a small aluminum store. They have them in my country and they are near bus stations. This guy effectively stole half of a bus station. Both returned things back the next day. Before the pandemic, I, 15M, was playing Truth or Dare with my few friends. One of them brought his sister, 14F. We played from 5 in the afternoon to maybe 8. We were just doing either personal questions like who do we like or who do we hate the most in school, or dares to try to inhale water from a cup, I know, that was dangerous, or do a funny dance, nothing sexual, embarrassing or gross. We were a bunch of innocent virgins. Eventually, my friend's sister was dared to hug someone of her choice of the group for 5 whole minutes. She chose me, so she wrapped her arms around me and snuggled into the bottom of my neck. I eventually hugged her back around her waist, and in a minute, she started crying for some reason. I thought I did something wrong, so I tried to let her go, but she started tightening her embrace on me, so I stayed still. Everyone got uncomfortable. It took her a few minutes to gain her composure again, and the game awkwardly went as normal. When I got home that night, my friend texted me asking me what happened back there, and after a while of going back and forth, I decided I should ask her myself, and if I did something to her, apologize. He gave me her number, so I texted her and asked if she was okay. She replied saying she was fine, so the conversation went from me saying sorry to her venting to me that ever since her mom died in 2018 she had been feeling pretty lonely. She only had her brother and dad, but still felt alone because my friend didn't spend much time with her, and her dad loved them but didn't have much time to spend with her because her mom was the bigger breadwinner of the house. So he took another job added to the one he already had, so he had a tight schedule, and the way I had held her mildly reminded her of the way her mom hugged her all the time. So she got emotional and kinda let it all out right then and there. So soon we started hanging out, just the two of us, and got along perfectly, and my hugs became some sort of personal therapy for her, and I admit I started to have feelings for her. She was just so adorable and giggly until in November 2019 I confessed to her, and she confessed back. So next week will be officially 1 year strong. I love her and I never thought my hugs would become my best weapon for the ladies. Got dared to run around the block naked. It wasn't nice but might have been close. I'm running. I took the half block option because well I'm chubby fuck and therefore less running. So I do the main street portion of the run, few honks all as well. The back stretch runs along a park on one side, church on the other. There's a guy running from the park and at first I think, aw, poor little white guy running from the big black naked guy, what a fucked up evening for him. Then I glanced over at the church and see fire in the windows and realize, oh, he's running from the fire he started and give chase. My friend's waiting outside our apartment complex with a robe and a shot, see random stranger run by, then me in full on naked chase mode yelling call the cops and the fire department. So I gained a bit on that guy, but like a block down I realized we just called the cops and the fire department. The fire department is an alley away from us and I'm naked black guy running through the neighborhood. I need some clothes. Turn back and make it to my friends and a robe just in time for the cops to roll up. Fire department showed, came over a few minutes later. Fire was in Christmas tree in the park. My drunk ass saw the reflection in the church windows. Cops had also got a call about streakers but didn't mention it till they left. So the furthest I've gone is about a half-mile balls out. We, a group of good friends of 5, consisting of 3 females and us 2 males, had a game night with classic quiz and card games plus drinks of course. It was a light affair with reasonable alcohol consumption since we are in our mid-20s. Then suddenly my buddy pulled out some vodka and made all of us drink shots in quick fire mode. One of the girls insisted on playing Truth and Dare. It ended up in us stripping our clothes, giving lap dances to each other, ass spanking and some making out. A real passionate night between friends. Our little secret hee-hee. I have too. Sexually? Had my first gay hookup with a dude in high school by getting dared to let him suck me off to completion. Which I did. Non-sexual? I got dared to throw a cinder block off a busy interstate overpass, which I immediately refused because I don't want to fucking kill or seriously injure anyone. So that was replaced with shoot a bottle rocket out of your asshole, which I did. Luckily it actually shot off instead of staying and burning me. After a long night of drinking, a small, 5-ish group of us decided to play Truth or Dare as the sun was coming up. At some point, I was dared to streak down 2 city blocks. I did so, in cowboy boots and covered in mustard from an earlier dare. It was cold, I was bad at running due to drinking and smoking cigarettes all night, and I was pretty sure I was going to die. Alas, I lived and ended up with a brutal hangover later that morning. Mine isn't bad or dangerous, it's just stupid. Doing a game of drunk D or D, I was pissed off my head, not blackout drunk, mind you, but still pretty fucked up. I could remember the previous day but I didn't want to. Normally I'm really good with tongue twisters. My favorite one is I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm a pheasant plucker's son. I'm only plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucking's done. My friends dared me to do this while I was surfaced and told me I could only stop once I did it all the way through. Boy did they regret it. 2.5 hours of me I'm not a pleasant fucker, I'm not, and repeating that over and over. They had enough of me doing it and was yelling at me to stop. Drunk me did not listen. My friend dared me, while I was getting very drunk for the first time, to give one of the guys at the party we were at a blowjob, didn't specify who, just anyone. That was the night I learned that when I get drunk I take dares extremely serious. Ended up offering a whole lot of boys blowjobs, which thankfully my friends prevented me from actually doing, and throwing up on the one guy who tried to take advantage of how drunk I was and take me up on the offer. In our early 20s, my friends and I dared the sort of fall guy in our group to shit on the balcony of the room we were hanging in, and spray paint it gold. We had done an art project earlier in the afternoon. He asked for privacy so we closed the drapes, but peeked through watching him pace back and forth, assessing the situation, and deciding if he was going to follow through. He did it. Guy who owned the house was not happy that in order to dispose of it, the recipient of the dare had to transport it on a flattened cardboard box through to the house to the trash outside. We were playing skeletons in the closet, not truth or dare, so each of us took a turn getting asked questions from every other player. I got asked what's the most embarrassing question we could ask you? Which is a very evil thing to ask in that situation. I replied, what's my nickname for my girlfriend? And then the next player asked exactly that. And that's how I got coerced into telling everyone that I jokingly called my girlfriend a squirter, super soaker. In middle school my brother and I were dared to jump down a flight of stairs. It was about 9 or 10 steps and we had seen it done before and thought it wasn't a big deal. I went first and landed pretty hard but nothing serious. When my brother jumped he landed wrong and dislocated his ankle and messed up his arm pretty badly. To this day he can actually pop his ankle in and out of its socket without feeling pain. It looks disgusting and freaks people out though. I cringe when people ask him if he can do any cool party tricks. Where to begin? I once snorted a 3-inch line of cayenne pepper. In the same game of truth or dare I thumbed my drug-shriveled cock through my friend's ear tunnel. Another time I ate 200 Liberty Cap mushrooms. Eyeballed vodka. Ran into a pub bollock naked on a busy Saturday night. Drank bong water. There are more but can't remember them. When I was in my 20s my friends and I did a lot of drugs at house parties, played fancy dress and truth or dare a hell of a lot. Sorta a truth or dare situation. I was in a bubble bath with a couple girls at a small Christmas party. One of the girls is a best friend and we were trying to talk the other girl into letting me lick her butthole. My friend said, "You really should let him, I love it, I'd do it if I were you," and I asked her if she'd be willing to put her money where her mouth is and it happened. The most unbelievable thing I've ever been a part of. I, a massive dork, licked 2 good-looking girls' buttholes in a bubble bath at a Christmas party. The only time I was invited to play that game I was the only one not drunk, since I could not drink alcohol at that time due to my medication, heavy opiates for a broken ankle. I always chose truth, and answered all questions with total honesty, scaring even the most drunk of my friends. I have nothing to hide and no shame. The only dare was to go to the toilet with an empty beer bottle and bring it back full and with the exterior dry. It took some time with my crutches, but I did, lifted the lid of the toilet stank and filled it with water, dried with TP, flushed the evidence. They all thought I would pee in it, because of the previous no shame answers. Me and my best friend got a double handy by some girl who had a crush on me. Later in the game he got to finger some other girl who later be known as the chick who gave someone head in class. At the end of the night I was in bed with the girl who had a crush on me. She was 2 years older, and my best friend was on the other bed across from us with her sister, who was our age. Their mom and my mom are best friends and we were at our mom's other best friend's son's birthday party. Met a guy over the computer. We got along pretty much instantly and quickly grew closer. A normal Discord call turned into normal truth or dare. Normal truth or dare turned into very kinky, flashing bits truth or dare. Happened a couple more times until we literally couldn't keep denying that we had internet crushes on each other. Nearly 2 years later and I'm currently chilling in our bedroom while he plays a video game next to me at his desk. Wild ride. Because this is labeled NSFW, I guess I'll give the people what they want. Me and a friend of mine, let's call her B, were video calling, which has become a nightly ritual at this point. Of course we were playing Truth or Dare, otherwise I wouldn't be posting this here. Anyway, we are the type of friends who are super tight, like say anything do anything but nothing sexual up to this point. So B asks me as a dare to see what rests underneath my pants, thinking I wouldn't actually do it. Of course I had to prove her wrong, so I gave B fair warning about what she was going to see, and still she doesn't believe me, so I do it. Of course she wasn't actually expecting me to do it, but well, I did, and she was, well, shocked at the very least. So now my turn for Truth or Dare, and with this newfound sexual tension I take the next step. I dare her to lift up her top, and well, you can't exactly deny a dare. What I wasn't expecting was that she didn't have a bra on. Anyway, to spare all the other gory details, let's just say it continued escalating for most of the night. For those wondering what happened to B, we're still great friends, but we no longer have our sexual calls anymore. Both of us are in great relationships. Smile. I haven't gone very far. I've seen a girl who was dared to give some lap dance. She said okay, so long as the person who dared her left the room. That was funny. I wouldn't say a Truth or Dare game for this one. It was more of like I dare you to do this. Anyway, my friend randomly dared my best friend, who is a girl, to flash her tits to us over a FaceTime call. She said okay, but we had to turn off our cameras, which was odd, but understandable. Was supposed to be for 30 seconds. She ended up showing her tits for a good 5 minutes. I have no idea how it lasted that long, but it did. I just wanted to share is all. My freshman year, I went to a party, didn't really know anyone much. So T&D gets going, and it comes to me. And naturally the first guy says, "Show me your tits." I gave him a quick flash, and continue on. It gets back to him, and I tell him to pull his pants down, and he doesn't want to. So he gets kicked out of the game. It goes to me again, and I keep saying truth, which makes some of the other people mad. So finally I say dare. This time it's run across campus naked. It's about 45 degrees outside, so I'm not happy about it, and I insist on having shoes. The agreement was they were going to meet me at the other side of campus with my clothes, so I stripped down and put my clothes in their car. It was about 11 at night, so I didn't encounter many people across campus, but one person tried to chase me. I ran track in high school, so I lost him easy. And a few people yelled dumb shit at me. I get to the other end of campus, and there they are. As I get closer to the car, the guy I got kicked out earlier rolls down the window and says, "Have a nice trip, bitch," and drives off. So now I have to get back to where I started. I get a little bit of the way back to campus, and I have to hide in the bushes because a police car is rolling by slowly, looking for me. I back out of the bushes away from the road, and when I turn around, a guy wearing a trench coat is just standing there. His comment? "Nice night for a walk, huh?" Long story short, I walk back to where I started wearing the trench coat, and of course the car is locked. I knock on the door wanting my clothes, and they just keep making fun of me. So the guy who I walked with smashes the window of the car, gets my clothes, and we go running into the night. Never went back to those assholes again. Me and the guy dated for about a year after that, smiley face. I live in Colorado, and growing up, some friends and I were playing T&D in someone's hot tub at night in the middle of December. There was at least 7 inches of snow out, but the water was bliss in the 20°F weather. Until my ballsy ass got dared to run around the yard right then and there. Well, of course I yeeted on out and bounced around making my first lap. Soon as I rounded to finish the second, almost all my leg muscles were cramping really bad and I could hardly move. So I basically dove back into the hot tub, where I proceeded to nearly go into shock from my body going hot, freezing hot conditions. Don't be dumb, kids. Few years ago, I was on a bus ride with some friends on a band trip. We decided to play Truth or Dare. Everybody slowly joined in. Simple stuff got worse and worse. 2 guys went from licking shoes to stage kissing. They were both in theater, and various tasks. I got dared to take a selfie with one guy who didn't want to but still got away with it. And later I got dared to steal one girl's sock from the end of the bus, and nobody believed I could do such a thing. Girls and other people had their feet up in the air, laying down and sleeping on the bus. I stole the sock, tossed it at the person who dared me to do it, and sat down. But the greatest dare was the last one to blow anything else out of the water. One friend, not saying his name, got a dare. He was told to go to the bathroom at the end of the bus. change around his clothes and then accidentally let the door swing open with the light on and stare like a deer in the headlights for a few moments and then close the door and walk back up front. He went to the back, into the bathroom. He pulled his shirt on backwards, took off a shoe and sock, put the sock on his head, pulled up one pant leg, and let the door swing open. The dark bus illuminated by the only light in the back. The pure silence of the bus interrupted by the sound of the door slamming the far side. All eyes turned towards the guy in the bathroom in obtuse outfit. He grabbed the door and closed it a few moments later. The bus filled with voices questioning what had just transpired. A few moments later our hero walks from the back of the bus back to us in silence. The next moment felt like an eternity, but soon from the silence, our cheering and multiple high fives rang out. He had topped the game. We declared him the winner and we played the largest improved D&D game the rest of the trip home.